Hey Jacob, did you pray today?
Did you pray today?
Did
you pray today?
No.
Because if you
I'm gonna hit you both in the balls.
I might have to take you down some cases.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Tommy.
Before we begin, please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, you leave a like, you leave a comment, you back the ghost, and you follow us on all of our social media, that being Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, if you want to support the podcast, please be sure to click that join button down below or join our Patreon. It's the first of the month, and we're going to be giving away this 330-second battle pack to one of our lucky patrons. So if you're in that Gungan Boss tier on Patreon, you can win this Lego set. So be a patron before the stream tonight. Probably like around 6 ish, 5 or 6, depending on when I get.
Sometime in the evening.
Sometime in the evening, whenever I get out of work, I'll make a post about it. Yeah, guys, how's your week going?
Nothing really too crazy or exciting going on in my week. It's just school second weekend. Just hopefully going to make it through okay. Some of my classes aren't that bad, but it is what it is. Really trying to think if anything interesting happened this weekend. I saw a guy get a gun pointed at him, and that was it.
That's where?
And right in front of, so Maya and I were leaving the apartment, and there's some guy on our campus who keeps revving his really loud car all the time, like just around the campus. And these people who live in the nearby area were like trying to go the opposite way, like when they were driving, and they just leaned like out of, he was like, "You better cut that out right now." And it was like, wow, I'm watching this happen.
What time of day was that?
The afternoon, like 2 days ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Broad day,
like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Oh, and I've been hunting for the Piplup Squishmallow at
Did you
Walgreens.
see they just announced Clefairy and Teddy Ursa too?
Not really huge into those. I like Piplup more. I'll pass on that wave.
You say that, but you bought Togepi, and I don't understand who would buy Togepi.
Maya likes Togepi. That's the only reason
cool.
I got it.
So you're probably gonna get them both. If you find them, you're gonna be like, I need it. I have them all so far.
My week, I'm in evaluations for work right now, so just doing a lot of paperwork and getting stuff done. About halfway through right now, and then I get to be done with training and evaluations. Yep. So
nice.
Very excited with that. And I also bought a new desk, and it came in the mail, and I built it. So now I have a designated space where I can finally start doing some action figure reviews. So
That'll be dope.
in the next couple weeks, definitely expect the reviews to start flowing in on the YouTube channel.
Very cool.
As I get stuff in the mail.
How about you, Jacob?
My week's been good. I'm making friends in the film department. Last night went and saw Jurassic Park in 3D for the 30th anniversary. And let me tell you, that movie that hits different in 3D.
Does it really?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like that scene towards the end of the movie, like where they're in the ceiling of the guest area, like above the kitchen, and the girl falls through the ceiling tile, and the Velociraptor jumps up to snatch her leg and just misses her at the last second. That movie wasn't even composed like for 3D, but that raptor jumps off the screen like right at you.
That's pretty cool.
It looked staggeringly good, and also just because of the way that Steven Spielberg composes his shots, he loves his depth of field. So there's a lot of stuff in the foreground and really far away backgrounds that in 3D it stacks so well. It actually looks. It's not like when you go to a 3D movie and then it's just kind of like, oh, I can tell it's 3D, but there's nothing really special going on. There was something special going on with that. So it was really cool.
Someone cooked here.
Someone cooked here. But that happened. I got my one wheel fixed. Ooh, finally.
That's great.
So yeah, shout out to Derek from Ohio Shred Shop for hooking me up and then taking me for a ride around the national park that's right next to his house. There was a suspension bridge that we rode across.
Is it Cuyahoga?
I don't remember.
That's the only one that I know near there.
But it was very cool. I could not get across the suspension bridge in one try, and he took a video and made fun of me for it. Well, it was tough because the width of the bridge, no lie, was this. The bridge was this wide, and I had to ride across that, and my feet, because I was wearing my Timbs, they kept getting stuck on like the wire
ropes.
bracers, so it would like knock me off, and he'd be like, "Dude, you suck!" And I was like, "I haven't ridden in a year." I'm like, "Give me a minute." So, no, it was a lot of fun. I'm super glad to have that back. And then for the film domain at my school, we just got in a wheeled dolly. So that was cool. We were messing around with that before I got here. Just shooting some crap and having a good time.
Nice.
I had to, for this project, I had to film this kid. And the whole thing behind the whole project is called a continuity edit. And the continuity edit is if I'm cutting from a camera here, to say a camera there, I want it to look like the same action is happening. So if I'm moving my hand like this, when I get to the middle, that's probably where I cut it, and then have it come down. So it looks like one fluid motion still. And this movement disguises your cut in your footage, so it makes it look more natural.
Like a TikTok transition.
Yeah.
In layman's terms, yes. But the way to get that right is repetitive action. And this kid I filmed did something different every single time, so it was a pain in the tuchus to edit. So that
sucks.
That was the thing. I got that done today, but
Okay.
that was something. But other than that, Ahsoka.
Oh,
Real quick, I wanted to get a couple announcements.
Noah.
we have announcements beforehand that are really
we
important.
don't.
Yes, we do.
Nuh-uh.
First
Nuh-uh.
big announcement of today. ErieCon is coming up.
From today.
It's a week. This is exciting. If you did not see our social media already, we are going to be doing a giveaway thanks to Icons Unlimited, who 3D print a lot of awesome props and helmets too. And so at the con, we are going to be giving away a Second Sister 3D printed helmet. And it's going to look amazing. They were already showing me some prototypes because they were making one already. But the one that they're making for this con is supposed to be a little bit bigger so you can realistically fit a head in it, since the end area here near the neck is so tight. But super duper excited. We will have instructions on how to win that at our booth, and could not be more excited to have ErieCon.
And the three of us are going to be there this year.
Yes, the three of us will be there.
It's locked in. I got my comp time slips back. They were approved. I'm like,
That's good.
So that'll be nice. So if you want it, instead of it just being me and Tommy, come meet all three of us at ErieCon, starting the 8th, running through the 10th.
Yep,
8th, 9th, 10th.
And then also you can come meet 212 Hunter, aka Leitendi, aka Hunter Schultz, aka
Grippers.
Hunter S, aka
La
Gorilla
Turret.
Gripper 9000, aka Turret, the man of many identities. Also Hybrid Toy Reviews and Skywalker Hendrix will be there as well. And if you can, come make it out, because we are going to be selling a ton of action figures.
Leitendi's got a lot he's selling.
He has over, I think, almost 150 action figures.
And they're all like really cool ones too.
They're like ones that you would actually want, and we're all selling them for like retail costs.
Yep.
So
We're hooking the community up with some deals. So come by Tika's Trading Post and visit the post. Also come swing by, subscribe to the channel, get a free sticker.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
We have a new sticker from last year. Last year we did the logo I made, and then the helmet. This year we're doing the helmet, and then we're doing the sign. So that'll be cool.
Lights not included.
Lights not included.
No LEDs included. Shout out to Commander Bly for the LED.
Yes.
sign.
The awesome sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, make sure to go back the Ghost if you haven't.
Back
yet.
the
Yes,
ghost.
please.
Yes.
As of today, the Ghost is at a little over 12,000 backers.
12,255 last time I
Yep.
checked it.
So I mean, I don't know that Zeb will get backed, but I think it's safe to say Kanan will definitely get backed.
I'm scared Kanan will not get back.
Hoping Kanan will get back.
I'm hoping at least Kanan will get backed.
I think the FOMO is going to really start hitting people in the last couple of days. That's what I watched some videos over the last couple of weeks where it's like collectors who have been in the HasLab game for like a long time and do it for multiple lines, and they say that every time there's one that's already like backed at the base tier, like that last day or two, you'll see like thousands of people add units to the list because
I
they just
can only
waited until
hope.
the last minute.
I can only hope. We really need all those tiers. It deserves it, and it looks amazing.
Well, especially because if they hit all the tiers, Hasbro said they will do mural art mainline figures of Sabine and Chopper.
Yep.
So
I definitely would get the Sabine one because the art mural picture for it is really, really cool.
Do you think that they would fix the helmet on the Sabine if they do a re-release?
probably not.
Probably not.
They might, because they just did a press thing where they said that they're going to lean towards doing
Swappable
heads because everybody cried about this one.
I think for Black Series, it's fine to do removable helmets. I think it makes a lot more sense on the TVC scale to do swappable heads.
Yeah, because it's just not possible to make it look good.
But yeah, so make sure you back the Ghost if you haven't already. It's
Please and thank you.
$500,
Please.
and it's the biggest playset that has ever been made in that scale from Hasbro. So
It's awesome, though.
yeah, but all right, I think that's it. I think we've covered it.
We had the Hasbro stream, but I don't really feel like everything was already revealed.
Yeah,
so that's nothing like new.
Except for the
Marrok and
except for Starkiller and the droid.
Hu Yang.
Huyang. There we go.
Dude, I had to shout out to Lukeness Monster. I had to cook Lukeness Monster in one of his most recent videos because he said that Hu Yang was a new character in Ahsoka, and I had to let him know, hey, bro, he was in the Clone Wars.
I did see that comment because he reacted to it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Teaching them younglings still. Still being annoying and sassy now, which is funny in my opinion. But.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, there was the Marrok, there was the Hu Yang, and wasn't there another one? I feel like. I don't know. All I know is that
Morgan
those,
Elsbeth.
yeah, the new wave of,
and then the other Morgan Elsbeth in the TVC. And then another
The
Morgan
HK
Elsbeth
droid in the red,
retro.
which doesn't have the staff, which is a crime, but...
You know what I will say? Did you see the post that this wave of Christmas figures is starting to hit the US?
I did just see that. That's exciting.
The only one that
No Halloween figs is a crime. I absolutely loved them last year. They were the best, and they're gone because you whiny babies.
Womp womp. You have like 1 million Skull Troopers.
I
It's
only
okay.
have 10, and I want 90 more.
I'm pretty sure I bought like 2 of those for you.
You know what we need?
What do we need?
We need more Christmas figures.
We need more.
The only
Christmas
one I'm
figures.
worried about is the Walmart one not showing up before Christmas, because historically the Walmart ones have not shown up before Christmas. Because 2 of them are fan channel.
Okay.
One is Pulse, one is Shop Disney, and one is Amazon. Or not? There's not a Pulse one. There's Amazon and then Target. So I'm not worried about those ones. I think those ones will be fine.
They're fine. You're giving me anxiety. Today, the Clone Commando and 5s are starting to ship for people. Neither of mine have shipped yet, so I'm worried.
Oh, did you get hit in Walmart online limbo?
I don't know. So here's what happened. So our banks decided that they were going to send everybody new cards. Oh, okay, so this updated. So before my order said preparing and Hunter was off the list, but now Hunter's back on it. So they're probably checking it. I don't know. When my Jesse was going to ship, it told me almost at the end of the day at like 7 or 8 at night that it was going to ship. But long story short, our bank sent us all new cards and said, hey, that previous card that you're using is deactivated as of like right now. And that's the money that I had on these figures, which isn't good. Because I tried to contact Walmart about switching the payment, and they will not let you. They say you have to repurchase the item.
What?
Yes, that's how their policy goes. But my default payment for Walmart is my new card, so hopefully it just switches to that.
It should just charge.
That's what I've heard from a lot of people on forums, so I'm really just hoping. A lot of people on Yak's post said that their 5s is like arriving tomorrow or the next day.
I did not order one because Latendi ordered an extra one for me.
No, I should have asked Lictendi.
I think he ordered like 4 of them. Yeah, so if they
I might call Hunter after this.
Well, no, he did it for like us, like for friends. Like if people didn't get their orders fulfilled, you could get one.
Because that is, if my commando gets canceled, that's okay. I canceled all the Bad Batch minus Hunter, and if that gets canceled, that's okay. I just want 5s. Like the Cook Commander 5s he made for me is perfect, and that will sit on my shelf. But this 5s, I just want to have as my desk ornament now for school and for wherever I go.
Sweet. So
sorry to postpone talking about Ahsoka, Jacob, but let's get into Ahsoka.
Let's talk about literally my favorite thing right now is
your favorite
the
thing?
Ahsoka show,
The
and the
Yep.
fact that I get to watch it at 9:00 p.m. and then I get to just wind down and go to sleep
Yep.
after watching it is I really hope they stick
It's
with this.
amazing.
In the
They just
future.
got to move it to Fridays. And
Move
They
it back to
put
Friday.
it back because movies on Fridays is ridiculous still because we have no movies.
Disney Plus releases like one movie every like 3 or 4 months
Yep.
on a Friday. So I don't understand.
Just give us our shows on Fridays back. Give us our fun time Fridays.
Hashtag move it to Friday at Disney Plus at Disney. Start the movement. Let's get it done, boys.
Do better, Disney.
No, it's just spam them and let them know what we want.
Yeah. But I will say, I will take having it at a time that I can actually watch it at a reasonable hour over having it on
Oh,
Fridays. I'd
Saves
rather-
my
yeah.
sleep schedule, dude.
Oh, dude, it's like you know, just watching it before bed is like so nice. 'Cause
Yep.
I'm already just getting to chill out. I get to sip on some drank,
Yeah.
just watch the new TV show, which is a fantastic show, might I add. I really am
14
enjoying it.
million views on the first episode alone. The Ahsoka series has now become the most watched series on Disney Plus.
That's
Deserving.
outrageous.
100%. Congrats to Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Rosario Dawson, and everybody else that's involved in the project. And Ray O.
Is Sam Woo.
R.I.P. Ray.
R.I.P. Ray Stevenson.
R.I.P. Ray though.
Yeah. Speaking of Ray Stevenson, I'm really excited. I think the next episode next week is going to be the one where we see him fight Ahsoka from the trailers.
Yup. I
He's
could
gonna
put money
fight
on that.
Ahsoka, and Thrawn's gonna come back.
That's what I'm hoping because now by episode 4, all the trailer footage would have been shown, and then the last 4 episodes are going to be complete like doozy, like
Which is
what
is very Dave Filoni.
very him.
Which
Well, that's-
means, well, if they do that though, does that mean that those Hayden Christensen Anakin lines will be in the next episode as well?
That's what I'm hoping. See, I had for a split second moment when Sabine and Ahsoka were talking when they were going through hyperspace, and
I thought it
Anakin
was
was
gonna
brought up, and the camera just kind of like puts in on Ahsoka for a second, and there's like that moment of silence, and I was like, "Is it going to happen?"
That's
and
what I
it
thought,
didn't.
too.
But I'm not trying to live my whole life with the expectation that we will get it. I hope.
They put it in the trailer, so it's gotta happen.
it
It
will.
will be the biggest tease of all time if it doesn't happen.
I hope.
I will say this is really good from a storytelling standpoint. They've been sprinkling in Anakin's name in a couple
Yes.
episodes now. They're reminding you who he is, and his name drop is not like a fan service thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what happened in the trailers, we know that this is going to help the story later on. So they're giving it to you.
Yep.
They're sprinkling it in, and like you said, they're teasing you.
Mm-hmm.
And with what we
so
see
good.
of him in the show, I'm calling it now. If we do see him, 100%, he's gonna be wearing this clone armor for the Clone Wars.
You want to put money
I'm
on
putting
that?
money down on it
Okay.
because the line that's used in the trailer of the best way I could protect you is teaching you to protect yourself is from Tales of the Jedi when they were still all in Phase 1.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
exactly what that's from.
It would also make sense why they added a Phase 1 clone helmet into the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
That would be sick.
Because if you think about it, all of those faces
All
that
appear in the
show
show.
up are all
In the show.
no, not all from the show, but they're
Even the
all
Kylo Ren one.
they're all live action. And
Mhm.
we have not seen
Oh,
I
okay.
think there was a Jar Jar maybe one time, but I feel like that was fake. But every character that's shown, their face is shown like their face is in a live action property from something new. So
Okay, no, that is a good point to have the Phase 1 clone helmet being live action because we've seen live action
Phase 1 Rex?
2, but not Phase 1. That would be insane.
I would like that.
Okay, this kind of goes partially with Yak, but Yak was saying that we were getting a new roleplay item. They did tease the Ahsoka helmet, but in the hashtags he put the Clone Wars.
Yeah, well, we got the Sabine helmet already, and then we got Ahsoka's lightsabers already. So those two came out, but then he said that the rest were coming out in 2024.
Yes.
I'm gonna bet though that's probably all it was gonna be because both of those products are releasing I think third or fourth quarter of next year.
That is true.
Okay.
I'm just a little bit of hope.
yeah.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up for anything. I'm not to say I was disappointed with the Hasbro stream, but I was surprised that they didn't even pipeline a Thrawn figure. Because I'm like, okay,
Maybe they just want to keep it under wraps a little bit. I mean,
he's in.
they said that they didn't know the figures were going to come out soon, and they came out the next day.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't see the stream. I only saw the pictures.
Oh, I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched it silently while I was with I was getting lunch with people, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to be rude and like be watching it,
I
so
hear
I
you.
just had it off to the side.
Okay.
But it was I mean, he's been in the trailers. We've had a good look at him for a long time, and it's just Lars Mikkelsen but blue. So like I can get that face sculpt working.
It
and
will
just,
happen though.
No, it's gonna happen eventually. I was just surprised that it
Yeah.
hasn't happened or even mentioned yet.
Because
I'm
what if
excited
there's
for that
more to
TVC
it though?
one.
What if he has like an accessory or something that would like key in on something big that's gonna happen in the show?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
You know what I mean?
HasLab Chimera comes out tomorrow. Dude, imagine how big that would be. Because if the ghost is about like the size of one of these squares on this table, just
That's
the docking
gigantic.
bay on the Star Destroyer would be that.
That's
Just the
nuts.
docking bay.
No, but honestly though, can we just talk about, in my
No.
opinion, that I feel like the villains in Ahsoka are just amazing.
They're so bad.
Chill, bro. Like the two examples that I want to draw on is when Balin, is that his name?
Balin.
Yeah.
Balin's skull.
I want to keep
Balin Hay.
I keep thinking about Druid Savioth every time. But at the end scene where Balin is just kind of like standing there like menacingly.
Menacingly!
It's just so well done though, because it's not like a cringe thing where he's just like, you know, like looking off in the distance. You can tell he's processing and he's thinking.
It
and
builds tension.
It is. And then the other example that I have is when Shin is in the Starfighter and they're attacking Ahsoka. How do you say her name
It's
correctly?
apparently
Besides
the
Mama.
way that they're saying it is closer. It's like an in between of Sheen and like Shin, like on a
Shin.
leg.
Because I've
It's like,
heard
yeah,
Shin before,
Shin.
so I was kind of going with that instead of Shin.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Just call
But-
her.
as long as it's not like saying
Stop,
Fennec Shad. It's
yeah. Dude, chill. But when
or
Shin is
gear shirks.
Gear shirks.
we're not even gonna go over gear shirks, bro. I didn't
Wrists.
listen to the audiobook or anything, okay? So
That's not even how
when-
it's spelled though.
you know, your mind just thinks of something and you stick with it. There'll always be gear
Hey,
shirks to me in my
what race
mind.
is General Yiv from the Ascendancy books?
I could.
Nah.
I know what you mean. I would have to. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that on the stream on this video.
No, try. Give it a try, Jackson.
No.
Give it a try right now.
Okay, so moving on. So basically, with Shin, when she's pursuing Ahsoka and Sabine,
The Nick Cardoon is how it's pronounced.
yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. Her like eyes the entire time are just like glued to their
Bro,
ship
and-
with like obsession.
And every scene she's in, she's
She's just like, it's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it sometimes, but the villains are just so believable and good. It's just not like a cringe based, like, I'm just evil because I'm evil.
Shin.
It's because I'm evil because I'm obsessed with you.
it's shit. Guys, it's shit. Shout out to my boy Anthony.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like just evil because I want to destroy the world. Mwah. It's more of
Exactly.
like they have actual motives, and we don't even know all their motives yet, which makes them interesting characters.
Yes.
I really thought it was funny though that the starfighters were just like World War II planes. That's it.
I liked how they sounded too, because I feel like a lot of the blaster sounds are either reused or slightly different variations of one that we've heard, and this one was pretty unique.
I've seen some conversation about who the aliens are.
Okay.
And people are like, oh, like they're these like new aliens. Those are the same aliens that were Morgan Elsbeth's henchmen in the season 2 Mando episode with Ahsoka.
Okay.
They're the same aliens, so we know that they're Morgan's like army or
Whatever they are.
So they're not new. Disciples would be a good word, but no, they're not new characters. We're not going to get like world building on them. It's just that's where they come from.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I love the fighting, the ship fighting in this because I can just tell it's miniatures on motion rigs. They look so good, but they also look a lot like how the colors in episode 3 look on their starships, where you got like this like really hyper bright kind of from a sun somewhere shining off it, where it's not like they're all lit up. Like the darkness of space looks like the darkness of space on these ships.
Right.
So it looks real crisp, looks real nice. I will say though, personally, I thought the dogfight went on for far too long. I really towards the end of it, I thought it was starting to drag.
Really?
On the first watch
Well,
or the second
watching
watch?
Sabine miss ships for about 3 minutes straight I was like, okay, I get it. She's rusty. Move on. please. But there's something about this that there's scenes like that, and there's scenes of people learning that are really drawn out, and I don't know why. I'm banking towards as a stylistic choice, but I'm trying to figure out the why. Why is it because we get the Ahsoka figuring out the thing in the temple. We get Sabine figuring out the box, and now we get Sabine in the ship for 5 minutes. Just I missed.
I really think it's just Dave taking the time with the characters and just like letting things breathe a little bit.
I do like that.
But it's such a deep breath. I feel like there's more to it than what probably
It'll be explained.
But well, it's not going to be explained because it's on the filmmaking side. When the show is over and I can like look, because I guarantee we're probably going to get one of those scenes in every single episode coming out. I'm going to be able to be like, I'm going to pick them all out and I'm going to look at them under a magnifying glass and be like, now why?
Actually, you know what it probably was? It reminds me a lot of the dogfight from A New Hope, where they have the TIE fighters chasing after them in the Falcon, and Luke and Han spend a long time trying to shoot down those TIE fighters. I think that was maybe an homage to that.
Because we did get when she puts the blast shield on Sabine, I can't even see. I was like, okay, that's the most like, we're in the Star Wars.
Oh, it rhymes. It's like poetry.
That was the most, guys, we're fighting this. We've won the Star War.
I think it was probably like an homage to original trilogy, like you said, with the miniatures and stuff. It was not prequel in that way. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it also just helps to invalidate the arguments of, cringe woke girl boss just destroys all the ships. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'd rather have it be that than they wipe out the ships real quick. And it's also Sabine learning to believe in herself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only thing that didn't make sense about it is because we've seen Sabine in Rebels, and there's multiple times where she's manned a turret like that on the Ghost, and she just like takes
she
it out
hasn't
like
been
no
on the
problem.
ship for a while.
Granted, what's the time
She
frame?
did tell Ahsoka that she changed her presets too.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you changed my presets, so she's probably fixing it on the fly to readjust.
And Ahsoka
what
just
she
goes,
had.
skill issue.
Genuine skill issue, Sabine. That training with Hu Yang, general skill issue. The way you couldn't fight me when you blindfolded, skill issue.
Do you think we're gonna see Sabine become Force sensitive by the end of the series?
I'm convinced.
I know that there were rumors about this show changing the way we look at the Force. I think that Ahsoka, because the cup scene was too much of like a foreshadowing with where she's trying to like pull the cup to herself.
She's just me.
I think honestly, this is going to open up something new with the Force, and Ahsoka is maybe.
Really?
But Ahsoka also says to Hu Yang, she's not trying to teach Sabine to be a Jedi.
I think what this is doing, and this aligns a lot with what your New Hope statement was, is Luke never showed growing up.
True.
Never had any inkling of what the
True.
Force was. Never had like sense or anything. He just learned about it with Ben and learned about it in the span of that movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's not necessarily changing the way we think about the Force. I think it's just bringing back to the forefront that you don't have to be the chosen one to be able to use it.
I would even say Justin from Out of the Basement said it really good on our Discord that Ahsoka is taking the traditional roots of the Force from the OT. Like, that's essentially what it's basing off. It's not going off the mid-chlorians of the prequels that we know very well, but that
Your
the
IQ isn't
Force
high
is
enough.
in
You're not getting into
everything.
Princeton.
The Force is in everything. It's just a matter of using it. And there was also an episode of Rebels that I saw a piece of on TikTok the other day of when Kanan is trying to teach Sabine to use the Darksaber, and he talks about how she's just so closed off to the Force because of how Mandalorian she is to begin with.
Yeah.
She has all of these feelings. So I feel like she can do it eventually because she doesn't have the talent of the Force like any other Jedi, but I think she's going to be the example of a person could use the Force with true discipline and like knowledge of how to do it. So not everyone in the galaxy is going to start using the Force. Like,
It's going to be tough though, because then it's going to be like, then how do you explain Chirrut Imwe? Somebody that was absolutely devoted to the Force, and granted you can argue that the Force gave him on sight, and that's how he's able to fight bad guys while being blind. Or you could just say it's because it's Imp Man.
I think the only thing with Chirrut was that he didn't have a lightsaber or have formal training to use the Force more than he did.
He was just
I think,
a zealot.
yeah, definitely, like you said, like he's blind and he fights very, very well because he uses the Force to see clearly. You know? Yeah, and again, this is what I like so much about this show is we're having these conversations that are so much more conceptual and not like we're not sitting and nitpicking at tiny little details.
The Purgo looks gross. Why did it look like a whale?
Purgo looked
They looked really good.
They look so good. They look so good.
It was really cool, and I think it was cool that our theory was correct that the Eye of Sion is a hyperspace ring.
Yes.
So which means if it's a hyperspace ring, it's gonna transport something
A chimera?
inside of it.
Yeah, it's gonna have a Star Destroyer in my opinion. But no, also because back to what you're saying too, that's what I like about these shows is that they're not constricting themselves to the knowledge of Star Wars that we've had in the movies and the shows before. It's always expanding the topics. So it's like every time we watch a show, sure, there's the plot going on, but I'm always so invested in like, what did they just change about Star Wars? Because when there's something new, I'm like, okay, this is the new standard too of what we can know. And it's never staying in the same thing.
I think that's something that I really enjoy about this show as well is we're taking stuff and we're adding to existing Star Wars. It's not retconning, it's not changing things. It is.
Are you sure it's not retconning, Tommy?
So here's my theory.
Don't get me started.
By the end of this, we're gonna see Ahsoka go to the
Guys.
world between worlds, and she's gonna snap Rey's neck. So the sequels never exist.
Guys, Disney ain't prepared for this retcon.
That's what I mean though. It's like I think that's where a lot of Star Wars fans fall short of what the show is trying to do. I think that they have an idea of what they want the show to be, and if it doesn't meet, we talked about it for years now. If it doesn't meet that expectation, people get mad. I think that the expectation now is there's a group of people that don't like the sequel trilogy, and their answer is, in their mind, they just don't want it to exist. They don't want it to be part of their canon. But the creators of Star Wars are doing things with these shows to enhance the current canon.
The most annoying... I've met somebody that straight up to my face was like, if George Lucas didn't make it, I don't count it as canon, and I also don't count the animation as canon. And I'm like, stop talking. I'm like, not only are you weird and greasy, but you have the worst opinion I've ever heard.
Did you see I posted this in the Discord?
Yeah,
yesterday?
that's the video.
I screenshotted
How did you
this.
miss this? Bye sequel trilogy.
And it
Like,
has
whatever, dude.
239,000 views.
That's why we'll never blow up on the internet. Is because we're not
That's-
making videos like that. Our
that's what-
podcast
yeah.
would probably do numbers if we posted
But
videos like that.
Again, though, that's something I just talked to Hybrid Tour Reviews and Latendi about this recently. Was think about that though. Think about the people that kind of a video entices into a community.
I agree.
We don't have that. That doesn't exist in our community.
Oh my gosh,
you know?
but I did it one time. One time I did it, and it worked. So when you guys both couldn't be there on the podcast, and it's just a picture of me, like, it says, well, I guess I'm on my own.
Yeah, that was really
and I
funny.
did numbers. I'm like, ha ha.
Yeah, when you clickbait people like that, it can work, but
Oh,
we're
and-
not about doing that though.
It's a different kind of content.
about doing it.
but yeah,
Just trying to
that's
figure out ways to get better at it.
that's why our content doesn't bring in as much because again, and I know we've talked about it time and time again, but it's not. It's positive. We are not very.
Sorry, bro.
Not
His
very
barrel
often.
fell.
Not very often are we negative about
Yeah.
about stuff we watch, and if we are, it's a constructive negativity instead of just the feeling that it gave me. We're a lot more analytical about it,
Unless we start arguing about the end of Mando season 3.
or the end of Book of Boba Fett.
So another
They've
thing,
been missing on their finales, in my opinion. They've been
Really?
missing on the finales.
I think the finales have been great.
Well, just Book of Boba and Mando season 3 were the only ones where I was just kind of like, ah.
So, to kind of touch on one of the topics of the episode that's really not being shown around on the online community right now, because the big focus obviously is Ahsoka and Sabine, but we
Right.
get our little side thing of Hera and the politics
And
that she's
Jason!
involved. And we get Jason Syndulla,
Does in fact
bro.
have green hair?
He does.
Yeah, he does have green
Colorblind
hair.
issue, genuine
Yeah.
skill issue in sight.
which is but it's a lot more believable of a shade of green. It's
Okay.
like a darker green. It's not a.
That was so cute.
It's not like
though.
a cartoony green color.
That's like one of those scenes that gave me like chills just because he was just like, I want to be a Jedi too. And I was like,
You might be.
damn, man.
Did
if
you
only
catch,
could have seen your dad.
Did you catch his shoulder armor? His
Yep,
Kanan
it's
has
the
Kanan's
same
symbol
thing.
on it too.
That was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
awesome. That's
That
a
was
super
awesome.
cool detail.
That was awesome.
I'm obsessed with
That one
Jason.
senator, hate him.
Hate him.
You know who that senator is?
He's the guy from Resistance.
He
I
is
saw that online.
Kaz Ziono's dad
Oh.
from Resistance.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Makes me like that show even less.
It was like, did you fight in the war? You just sit around and watch, and he was like,
But again, that speaks truths to
Who he is in
real life as well.
Yup.
You know, it's always the people that have never been through struggle that are the ones that end up on top and giving rules to the people who do struggle. I think it's a super cool like class issue that I think that this show has explored multiple times. Or how about one of the other senators just being like, well, they took the oath. Well, they took the oath. They
Yep.
said they don't support the Empire.
oh yeah, those guys are totally in. Those are definitely Imperial loyalists, and they're definitely like when she was like in Thrawn's back, and they're like,
I think it speaks more to power is greed.
oh, 100%.
And they
We've seen this in Andor already with
Yeah.
the people on Coruscant being like, Republic, Empire, what's the matter? Who cares?
Empire, I barely know her.
Ah!
But
Mon
yeah.
Mothma's an awful chancellor.
Yeah,
I think she's
Mon
worse
Mothma's a
than
pushover.
Palpatine, actually.
And that's again, it's consistent with her character in Andor.
Yep.
She's a pushover. She
She
doesn't
is.
want to make that big step. I think it's really cool.
Because Luthen has to make the step for her to even get involved, and I feel like that's maybe something we'll see in season 2 of Andor, because clearly there was no character growth in that aspect of her life, but in others there probably will be.
It's
You guys
also
want to hear something absolutely random that just came to my mind?
what came to your mind.
Do you remember, Jackson? Do you remember? Did you watch Boomerang growing up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember that commercial that was like, "Got a gorilla for sale"?
Got a gorilla for
Yeah.
sale.
I saw at our gallery in our school. We have one of the matte paintings from that show. I just remember
Got a
that.
gorilla for sale.
I
Got a
saw
gorilla
that,
for
and then
sale.
the guy I was with, he's like, "What show is that?" I was like, "You've never seen Got a Gorilla for Sale?" He's like, "No." I was like, "You're missing out." Anyway, sorry.
Back to the conversation.
That was my Rex and around
Yeah.
moment where I was like, "Squirrel."
The politics are really interesting to see for this dynamic.
And
like
again,
you were
it's
saying.
stuff that has been sprinkled in over the
Yep.
last 5 years with all these Star Wars shows,
Uh-huh.
and now we're seeing it more and more prominent in the shows. And I'm really enjoying how believable it is now that the First Order could take over. And I'm thinking that Thrawn is very instrumental in the First Order.
The New Republic is stupid. That is why I rule.
The New Republic is stupid.
New Republic.
I'm gonna be so
cringe.
honest though. At this
The New
point,
Republic, get nay.
The New Republic is.
what if we had Mark
mid
Thompson
and
say
cringe.
that? Get nay.
Get
But
nay.
Hey, Mark, can you say get nay for us, please?
I hope
I
Thrawn
know you don't
isn't.
respond to our DMs anymore, but please, can you say it?
I hope Thrawn isn't just in season 1. I hope what we get is a huge setup for this, in my opinion. I hope we get a season 2, and I hope Thrawn isn't just written off in the one season of being the villain.
If he dies in this season, I will cry.
No, I was
Let
saying.
me get the Thracket.
I was
Let him
saying
get
this,
the Thracket.
Let me get
Thracket?
The Thrawn jacket that he bought. The
Oh, it
Thracket.
came in the mail.
It came in.
I don't think that I said this last week. I think that Thrawn is the big bad for this era. He is like the
Yup.
Thanos equivalent of this era of Star Wars, because we still have like 25 years, or probably closer to 20 now, until the
Okay,
sequel
you're
trilogy.
right, you're
There's
right.
so much storytelling to be had, you know?
That is a good point. Dang, he opened the door and it really let a breeze and it feels
I know.
nice.
It's cold outside. It's that fall weather.
It's good.
I'm
Hey,
enjoying
love
it.
the fall. I love Halloween. I'm here for it, man.
Can't wait to do
I
a
have a
Halloween
really good
stream
point,
again.
but only... Sheesh. Oh, dude, the Halloween stream's gonna go nutty. We need to plan that.
The Thracket.
The Thracket.
So this is a removable patch, and it comes with a Star Wars just black logo patch as well, and the Jonah's reversible. I know, right?
Is it warm though? Is it soft? It's not a $500 coat though.
It's not a $500 coat.
Let him cook.
Someone
him
cooked here. Okay, the blue is better in my opinion. I like that.
I like the white side more.
I like the 7th Fleet, dude.
Yeah, that
Both sides are
match is
cool.
so
And it's nice because it's basically 2 jackets in one. I'll wear it on this side for the rest of the stream.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, so the other thing that we were kind of talking about too before was there's a big theory going around from this episode that
It's called the
Marrok-
Big Bang Theory.
that Marrok is Star Killer. And we know that Sam Witwer is accredited with voicing things in this show, but I want to get y'all's opinion on it of what would you think if Marrok is just Star Killer?
I would love it. I've said it before and I would say it again. The gallons of ooze that would seep out my pores. I would be so excited if in one show, they gave me live action Thrawn, more Ahsoka, Rebels Season 5,
Anakin
in live action, and bringing Starkiller into the mix, and setting up Heir to the Empire maybe. Bro, I would implode.
I think the biggest issue with doing that is you're setting up so many people for disappointment because of how much you have to dumb down his power levels.
Obviously.
For a canon.
I don't care.
I know we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care,
But,
but everybody
it's
else
just
is
the-
going to.
But
already-
Starkiller could bring a Star Destroyer down with ease. Why can't Marrok do that?
I like too that Marrok isn't like a dumb like nameless Sith, because even when he was fighting Ahsoka on Corellia, that dude was whooping her. You know, he was doing
He
a
was
good
putting
job.
up a fight because
That
Ahsoka
helmet-
has historically taken out Inquisitors pretty quick.
Exactly.
That
He
helmet
was
is not
good.
coming off until the very end of the season, though.
I don't think so.
I don't know if it's going to come off at all. I don't know.
See, in my opinion, if they made just Marrok himself and it was Sam Witwer and he took off the helmet and it was his face, but he wasn't like supposed to be Starkiller and it's just that character, that's fine with me because I really think he's a super cool villain.
You know what else we got to talk about?
What?
What?
Ahsoka in
space.
That was hands down the best part.
That was so
That
cool.
was so
That
in
was so
the
cool.
Republic spacesuit, bro.
Yeah, dude.
That was 100% a Clone Wars episode.
Dude, like, yeah, you said the whited out Republic logo that
Yup.
was on the shoulder
I saw that when
armor.
she sat down. I was like, oh my gosh.
When she wore a spacesuit in Clone Wars, were her Montrals and Leku
Yep.
covered in that old?
I
No,
remember it.
it's just a big bubble.
Yeah,
It-
Oh,
that's
it
what
was
it
a
was.
bubble.
Right. Yeah.
She had that custom fitted suit.
I was thinking
made.
of the underwater episodes on
Oh,
Valhalla
okay,
where she just
yeah.
has the mask.
That's what I was
That's what was
thinking
coming
too
up.
at first.
Dude, that was so cool. And again, you get like these moments where it's like, and that's something Ahsoka would say, like where she Sabine's like, oh, like I got it, and she's like, okay, now get me, like,
Yeah.
that's an Ahsoka. That's so in character for
Yep.
her. I loved that, her deflecting the blaster bolts,
And it was believable too, just because when she did the flip, it wasn't like, oh no, now I'm gonna land back on the ship. It's like, that's not how gravity works. I'm floating. You need to get me now.
dude, and everything about it was just awesome. I also really like the infighting that we're getting between Morgan and Shin. I love that little
Chick
rivalry.
fight!
Cat fight. I love that little rivalry between them because right from the get-go, we saw when Morgan reveals herself as a Night Sister, Shin is like, whoa. How do we know she's a witch?
She says she been smoking
Well,
what pack?
If she's lighter than a duck.
Is Morgan
What's
Elsbeth?
the
And-
line from Monty Python?
are ducks made of?
Wood.
So if she weighs as much as a duck, that means she's made of wood. So we can burn her.
And if she's made of wood, she can float. And if she floats, she's a witch.
And if she sings, she's not a witch.
She's also dead.
That's it's awesome though because again, it adds another layer to the story. I think
Yup.
that Dave has done a tremendous job of making the story have layers. I think that that's something that a lot of Star Wars fans, when we say things that we want to see in Star Wars, like, oh, I want rated R this, or oh, I want this. I think that we have to remember that there needs to be story with
Yup.
the cool stuff. And I think that Ahsoka is doing a good job so far of giving us cool stuff that we want to see, but also giving us this story and this narrative that goes with
Yep,
it. I think
exactly.
it's being done very, very well. I mean, it's no surprise, but it's awesome nonetheless.
I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
I really am.
And that planet Cetos that they go to at the end, I don't know why I got this I got this deja vu feeling when they landed on the planet.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because it's shot the same way and it looks the exact same way as from Thor Ragnarok when him and Loki are standing on the cliff and they're talking to their father before he dies. Same shot, same setup. Looks like the same cliff with a lot of waves. It's a shot that you see a lot, so it's going to feel familiar.
The forest reminds me of when they go to Yavin in the old Clone Wars show, the 2003, and Anakin lands with all the clones.
Oh.
I don't know why I got that same kind of vibe, and I don't think that was something intentional.
It made me
was
think of the
something
Bad Batch going to the Separatist planet that I'm blanking on.
Raxus?
Yep, it reminded me of
Yeah,
Raxus because I was like, ooh,
It's because of the red tones.
Yeah, the red tone on the planet, and I know it's gonna look super cool when they're fighting, and all the red tones come out. And
Wait till that next episode where Balin looks at Ahsoka and reveals that he knows Anakin. Anakin spoke highly of you. I'm like, what?
And she'll be like, nuh-uh. And then it's going to be a flashback. And it's gonna be...
I hope.
Especially,
I have a feeling that's where it would be.
He knows that he was Darth Vader. That's what I'm really interested to see.
Did everybody know?
Few would know what he would become. I'm like, oh, what's his connection there? You know, like,
why do you leave the order?
Is he also a... Because if we're leaning into, especially with cloning on Tanis, and then we might get Heir to the Empire movie, is Balin a Force-sensitive clone of the original Balin who knew Anakin?
Oh.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Could that be like why we haven't seen him for the entirety of the Empire? Was he in it? Was he in an embryo somewhere?
That would be
because why would there just be a? The Emperor would know if there was another Sith running around because he wouldn't want to be challenged.
Well, I wouldn't say that they're Sith. I would say that they are because they don't use we haven't seen them yet use dark side Force abilities. They're definitely more like the one in the middle, the mercenaries. Like they just do stuff for money. Especially, I saw Sarlacc Digest talked about last week on their show that they think that Marrok is just a part of this. Like the three of them are just a band of Force sensitive people that since the Empire fell, Marrok just joined up with them. And they just do things for money, and that would make a lot more sense than
I would believe.
I think that's a good connection.
I love Marrok's armor, how rusty it is.
Yeah, it shows he's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it looks like a knight's helmet too.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's very Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to see how this fight with Balin and Ahsoka goes. I don't think it's going to be the last one. And isn't this the same planet that from the trailers that
we all thought was the
Shin
one
fights Sabine on again?
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
They're basically going to be happening at the same time.
Oh, dude, it's going to be so cool.
It's going to be awesome.
But this is something I was talking about with Skywalker Hendrix. It feels like the climax of the entire show is about to happen. With everybody meeting up on this planet, trying to stop this hyperspace ring before it's complete to go see Thrawn. So it feels like this is one entire subplot, and then the rest of the show is going to be a completely different vein.
I mean, it's going to be a completely different story from what we're seeing right now and what was advertised to us, and that's what I'm curious about.
Not even just that. I feel because I think it's going to be instead of having one show that's all kind of one big story with sub arcs, I think it's going to be two big arcs, like how Andor was.
Yeah.
So
I'm fine with that.
I do like that about this show though so far is how seamless it all is. I feel like I could watch it as just a long movie.
I agree.
That's
how
cuts,
it feels.
The cuts aren't weird. Yeah. It's I need more Ahsoka, dude. I'm already counting down the days till next Tuesday.
Hey, most important question, who's taking care of the Loth cat? Please let us know if it's okay. That's all I want.
Meow. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the 1313 podcast. Please, if you haven't already, leave a like, leave a comment. Click the join button down below, and Patreon stream tonight. See who's gonna win the Lego set.
Tonight, it's tomorrow, bro. Oh yeah, tonight is when the video. No, I'm sorry.
No, listen to this Lego ASMR. Here, let me turn the levels up just so you can get it. You can really hear it.
that? You like that? Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this
Did you
episode.
pray today? Did you pray today?
I'm out. Bye, guys.
You did it.
Bye. I need my bullets. The way it jiggles though. That's protein shake, bro. Bigger weapons. I need bigger weapons.
I might have to.
No! Stop! I'm gonna chew the balls. I'm gonna chew the balls.
I'm ready. I got all my sillies out.
I didn't.
I got all my silly goofies out.
Cow bite.